Is your vehicle in need of a quick oil change or tune-up before hitting the road this summer? Stop by Quick Lube and Tune, the home of the good guys at 610 South Wenatchee Avenue.
It's time for NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. The latest from the Wenatchee Valley and North Central Washington with Steve Hare, Grant Olson, and sports with Eric Granstrom.
Good Wednesday evening and welcome to NCW Life News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window, and what a gorgeous day today. Look at all that blue sky as we head up north in our Sky-Fi camera up in the Okanagan County area, looking at Brewster and the Columbia River. Some snow on the ground and all of that blue sky out there today. Hope you had a chance to get out and enjoy it, because things will begin to change as we get in to Thursday and especially on Friday. Here's what we're looking at over the next 48 to maybe even 72 hours. Decreasing clouds today, we did see that. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies. Most of the snow or rain we see tomorrow will be in the higher elevations, but that will change once we get into Friday and even into Saturday. We have about a 60% chance for rain mixed with snow or just all rain on Friday, and that will linger into Saturday as well. And we'll have all of those weather details coming up for you a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A Moses Lake man who waved a gun and assaulted a police officer last summer is sentenced, and the ground has been shaking around Mount St. Helens over the last couple of days. We'll tell you about it. But first, we begin tonight. A Christmas Day fire destroyed a vacant home in the Whispering Ridge area, leaving investigators still looking for leads. Chelan County Fire Marshal Bob Plum explains what happened.
Parcel has been moving for a number of years in the landslide, and the house had shifted probably 2 feet to 3 feet over time, and it was out of kilter. Walls were cracking, the roof was separating, and a lot of the interior fixtures had been removed, is what I was told. But it hadn't been lived in for a couple years. The fire is, I hate to use the word suspicious, but there was no power to the building, and there was no natural cause for the fire, so it was either accidental or intentional. But I don't have any suspects at this point in time. I'm still looking for more information. Anybody that might have seen someone there between the hours of 4 o'clock in the afternoon and when the fire was reported around 7:50. It burnt to the ground. There's a concrete foundation left and with some debris in the bottom of it. So there's not much left.
With little information on the case and no suspects, Plum says the investigation is at a standstill, but he will continue to work with the Chelan County Sheriff's Office.
Guns down. Put your hands up. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground now. Get on the ground on your stomach. All the way down. All the way down. Keep your hands out.
Leave them. Okay, you're not in any trouble. Just listen to our commands, okay?
Keep your hands out.
Behind your back.
Police last summer is sentenced to a year in prison. It was back in June that officers arrested 32-year-old Brent McKinney after he brandished the weapon and made suicidal threats. The pistol McKinney was carrying was reported stolen, and later in the booking process, McKinney also assaulted a Moses Lake Police Department officer. He pled guilty to unlawful possession of a firearm and assault on a police officer. He was sentenced to a year in prison. Real-life country doctor Ann Diamond, who declared in early November that she'll run against State Representative Carrie Condata for the 12th District House seat, so far has raised more campaign money than Condata. According to the Public Disclosure Commission, Diamond has raised $27,335 for her campaign, while Condata has raised $17,150. Dr. Diamond is the founder of the Country Clinic in Winthrop, and she said she'll run as an independent Independent on a platform involving affordable and universal health care, local economic development and jobs, and preserving public lands. Condada and Diamond will square off in the next general election in November. The 12th district includes parts of Okanagan and Grant counties, plus all of Chelan and Douglas counties. The ground has been shaking around Mount St. Helens over the last couple of days. A rash of small earthquakes have been recorded, with the largest trembler registered at 3.9 on the seismic scale. The Pacific Northwest Seismic Network reports it struck around 12:30 a.m. A magnitude 2.7 quake was recorded just minutes later. Minor shaking was recorded in the hours after. The latest was a magnitude 1.1 that occurred just before 4 a.m. People as far away as Mount Lake Terrace reported feeling the magnitude 3.9 earthquake, that according to the USGS response page. Only 2 people in Morton, about 22 miles from the activity, reported feeling the shaking. Coming up next, the number of people finding work in the Wenatchee Valley continues to grow, and there's a large crack in a hillside above I-82 south of Yakima near Union Gap, and officials are concerned. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching NCW Life News.
Antique Mall at Cashmere wishes you a happy and prosperous new year. With 15,000 square feet to explore, Antique Mall at Cashmere has something for everyone. For repurposing projects, do-it-yourselfers, and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, this is the place to find your next project. Antique Mall at Cashmere, their friendly staff is here to help you. Stop on by today.
My name's Robert Duff. Current and previous occupation is architect, engineer, and lawyer. Grew up here in Washington, born in Moses Lake. When I first came to CVCH, was looking for a place to get some dental work done. I was really impressed with the people at the counter. I mean, they were just on top of it. It only took her like 15 minutes to do the job. I didn't feel anything. The technology is so great, you don't even realize you're at the dentist. These people are so professional. I would have any one of these people in my home for dinner. These people are family.
Travel enhances your life in every way. Let the travel professionals at Journey Travel and Tours help you plan that dream vacation. Don't leave the important details to those nameless, faceless online agencies. At Journey Travel and Tours, our goal is to build relationships that last a lifetime. And when you do need help, we have a 24-hour helpline that is routed to one of the agents in our office. When you think travel, think Journey Travel and Tours. It's where your journey begins. Like us on Facebook, and you could be one of our monthly winners.
Welcome back. And in other news, the number of people finding work in the valley continues to grow, while the number of people out of work continues to shrink to near historic levels. Don Messick, the labor economist for this area, dropped by our studios to pass along the good news.
The unemployment rate this November is 4.6%. It was 5.9% in November 2016. So that's a 1 3/10 percentage point drop. That's statistically significant, and I think probably even more important is the fact that our unemployment rate here in the two-county area has been dropping now for 13 consecutive months, all the way back to November 2016, so between Novembers of 15 and 16. So when you have a 13 consecutive month year-over-year decline in the local unemployment rate, that says something.
Messick says most of the growth in jobs can be attributed to more people moving to the valley.
Primarily, more people are in the labor force. We have a 2.1% growth in the labor force, Dan. We have a 3.5% growth in the resident employment. That ties into what we discussed earlier. There are about 2,062 more residents in the Wenatchee MSA's labor force in November 17 than in November 16. What's really been pushing the rate down, however, more than the growth in the labor force, is the decline in the number of unemployed. The number of unemployed was 3,705 residents in November 16, 2,972 residents in November of 17. So basically, November 16 was 3,705, declined to 2,972. What does that mean? 733 fewer residents that are unemployed. A 19.8% drop in the number of residents. So you could say 20%.
20%.
fewer residents are out of work.
However, Messick added that for how long the numbers remain good is anybody's guess.
We're at a historic low period. It's definitely encouraging, and like I say, we've had 13 consecutive months of year-over-year declines in the monthly unemployment rate in the Wenatchee MSA. When will it go up? That's the question, and I don't know. I think at this point we just have to say we've seen a 13-month trend. If anyone were to ask me, what about December? Well, I would say with 13 consecutive months and the 1 3/10 percentage point spread between Novembers of 16 and 17, is it likely the rate will continue to drop in December, between the Decembers of 16 and 17? I would say so, but how long? I honestly don't know.
The biggest decline in jobs remains in the manufacturing sector since the mothballing of Wenatchee's Alcoa Works 2 years ago. There's a large crack in a hillside above Interstate 82 south of Yakima near Union Gap, and officials are concerned. Eric Granstrom has the story.
The fissure along Rattlesnake Ridge near Union Gap and possible landslide caused officials to urge 50 nearby residents to evacuate last week. According to reports, the crack appeared along the ridge line in October, stretching north from an active rock quarry at the base of the ridge. Yakima County Emergency Management officials said Tuesday they can't definitively predict the scope of an expected landslide, and that, quote, the geologic experts that have been monitoring the slide believe that since the slide is slow-moving and on a gentle slope, the landslide event will be small in nature and hopefully stabilize itself, unquote. This drone footage was taken by Stephen Mack. According to an article in the Yakima Herald, Columbia Asphalt and Gravel, whose quarry is at one end of the crack, plans to offer remaining residents hotel rooms if they want to evacuate. Officials say the hillside above the quarry is moving an average of 1.4 feet per week. Rattlesnake Ridge forms the eastern side of a gap in ridges that separate the upper and lower Yakima valleys. Lying in that gap, Thorpe Road, Highway 97, a Burlington Northern rail line, I-82, and the Yakima River. With NCW Life Channel News, I'm Eric Granstrom.
You're watching NCW Life News. Coming up next, your sports update, followed by today's feature story. That and much more still to come on NCW Life News. Stay with us.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
Hey, this is Justin at Club Crow Bar and Grill reminding you it's your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Jam sessions and live bands playing a wide range of music. If pool tables or pull tabs are more your thing, we have you covered. Enjoy the fun and food at Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Stop on by today.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life Channel.
Dan, a happy Wednesday. The Eastmont girls hosted North Central of Spokane last night at Eastmont High School, and what a good game. The Wildcats trailed by as many as 8 in the second half, but came all the way back to force overtime. I was along Grant Olson and had the call here on the NCW Life Channel.
1:20 left in regulation. 47-44. Three-pointer for Cox. High post, they'll go to Peasley. Bounce pass down low to DeFore. Turnaround shot. Kicks it out with 20 seconds left. Big Smoke feeds inside for the shot. Up and good for Quincy McDeed. It's tied 14 seconds left. Now Eastmont nearly turns it over. Ball picked up down in the corner. It goes. Here's a shot by Cox. Rims off. No good. Rebound by DeFore. Turnaround shot on the way. Rims won't fall. Rebound tapped outside. It's going to go out of bounds with 1.2 seconds left. Eastmont.
Wow.
Corner for O'Rourke. O'Rourke lobs it in, and the shot at the buzzer. No foul call. Goodness. Well, they got the shot. It was partially checked, however. No whistle, so we're going to overtime. Inbounds pass comes in down to the corner for O'Rourke for a two. Wow. Two-pointer for O'Rourke. She's got 19 of the ball game. 51-49 our score. Just take their time here, but be aggressive still. Here's Cox for a three-pointer. Looks at that three-pointer, won't shoot it. Goes to McDeed. She'll shoot the three-pointer. McDeed was 17, was 16. Here comes Price down the lane, and the ball fumbled out of bounds. It's off of North Central. It goes to Eastmont. O'Rourke with a first free throw. Up. Good. Playing like a veteran here for Eastmont. If she makes this, at worst, we'd be at a tie again on the three-pointer by North Central. Free throw up, no good. Rebound tapped outside.
Wow.
Offensively. O'Rourke comes up with a loose ball, and that's going to be it. How about the Eastmont Lady Cats winning it in overtime, 57-55.
What a game last night. Bryn O'Rourke, the sophomore, led Eastmont with 20 points and a thrilling victory. As we check the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard, also in girls play last night, it was Liberty Bell stopping Manson 33-24. On the boys' side, Eastmont fought valiantly to come back in the third quarter after trailing to North Central by 11 at half, but it was just too much. Leon Sayers for the Indians. He finished with a game-high 32 points for North Central and the victory. To the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard on the boys' side we go. You see that Eastmont score last night. Also, it was Kashmir having no trouble on the road, downing Natchez Valley 72-59, and it was Manson topping Liberty Bell in a low-scoring game 39-24. Girls bowling on Tuesday. Eastmont continued its winning ways with a 4-zip win over Sunnyside at Eastmont Lanes. Congratulations, Samantha Heinz, a career-high 255. Emily Montoya rolled impressive 224 and 203. The Wenatchee Wild are on the road tonight to face Trail and the Smoke Eaters in BCHL hockey action. Wenatchee 2-1 in its games versus Trail so far this season and look to add to its 4-game winning streak. Puck will drop at 7 o'clock tonight. Arch Ecker has the call on the Wenatchee Wild Hockey Network. You can find that here locally on radio on Sunny FM. And speaking of the Wild, congratulations to Wenatchee's Josh Arnold, who has committed to play Division I hockey at Northern Michigan University in the fall of 2019. Arnold becomes the 11th Wenatchee Wild player to commit to a Division I commitment this season. How about the Wenatchee Wild? By the way, don't forget hockey night tomorrow night as the Wild take on Penticton from that game last Friday. It all starts at 7 o'clock tomorrow night with hockey nights, Call of the Wild, and Clarkie's Corner right here on the Wenatchee Wild Hockey Network. That's going to wrap up sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom on the NCAA Life Channel. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. As of January 1st, Washington State's distracted driving law is in full effect. In an effort to reduce traffic stops and educate drivers on the new law, Washington State Patrol released this video with TVW back in November.
During the 2017 legislative session, a new law was passed which enacted significant changes to what consumers can do behind the wheel. For motorists, this means it's hands off the phone.
She said she was unaware of the new law.
Washington has a new distracted driving law. Trooper Brooke Bova of the Washington State Patrol told TVW what drivers should watch out for.
The new law is that it's really taking cell phones out of drivers' hands. That's the best probably way to put it. It's a true one-touch law, so you can take one touch or one swipe to answer a phone or to hang up a call. But really, you can't be playing with your GPS, your music, anything with any electronic device, whether it's a cell phone, a tablet, an iPad, your GPS. All electronics need to be completely hands-free now.
Hey Megan, it's 1080. Did you guys just try to call me?
There are, of course, exceptions to the new legislation, including calling for emergency services, operation of an authorized emergency vehicle, use of citizen band, two-way radio or other amateur radio equipment, and finally a transit system employee or commercial vehicle operator using equipment within the scope of their employ.
The next pitch, another slider.
In addition to primary distracted driving violations such as texting or checking email, there are secondary offenses. These types of violations require another reason for a stop.
You need to be following too closely, speeding, driving on the shoulder, erratic lane changes, something else in addition to the eating and to the drinking in order for me to be able to pull you over for that. It's a secondary offense. It's a $99 ticket for that secondary offense, but it's not something, like I said, there were many people out there today that I saw that were drinking Slurpees or coffees, and we did not stop in contact.
South 995.
To put distracted driving into perspective, Trooper Bova spoke about the relationship between driving distractions and reaction time.
It takes the average person who isn't distracted 1.5 seconds to recognize a risk and to react to that risk. So if you think about that, 1.5 seconds, you're going 60 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, that's a considerable amount of time. Now if you're distracted, add in a couple of more seconds for good measure, and that really delays your reaction time and your stopping time, and that's probably a large part of the reason why we have so many collisions in the area.
Now, Trooper Bova told me that the WSP plans to issue warnings to consumers found in violation of the new distracted driving law until around January of 2018, when regular citations begin. For TVW, I'm Dave Martinson.
We'll be back in just a moment with the recap of some of today's stories and your complete local weather forecast right after this.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
This is the big one, Leonard Evans year-end celebration. 2017 was such a great year for us here at Leonard Evans, we want to say thank you. So we're offering you our best deals of the year. No, really, these are our best deals ever. Pick out any super clean pre-owned vehicle in stock and drive home with zero down. And we mean zero. At the Leonard Evans Used Car Superstore, corner of Maple Street and North Wenatchee Avenue in Wenatchee, Leonard Evans, where the name means a great deal.
Bay Equity Home Loans in Wenatchee, serving all of North Central Washington. We make it our priority to learn all about your financial needs. Whether you're buying your first home, refinancing, or want a reverse mortgage, our mortgage professionals are ready to guide you through the loan process. We have a wide variety of loan products to fit your family's needs. Call Bay Equity Home Loans of Wenatchee today for your pre-approval. 509-888-0466.
Time now for a recap of some of our top stories. A Christmas Day fire that destroyed a vacant home in the Whispering Ridge area is leaving investigators still looking for leads. Chelan County Fire Marshal Bob Plum explains what happened.
Parcel has been moving for a number of years in the landslide, and the house had shifted probably 2 feet to 3 feet over time, and it was out of kilter. Walls were cracking, the roof was separating, and a lot of the interior fixtures had been removed, is what I was told. But it hadn't been lived in for a couple years. The fire is, I hate to use the word suspicious, but there was no power to the building, and there was no natural cause for the fire, so it was either accidental or intentional, but I don't have any suspects at this point in time. I'm still looking for more information. Anybody that might have seen someone there between the hours of 4 o'clock in the afternoon and when the fire was reported around 7:50. It burnt to the ground. There's a concrete foundation left and with some debris in the bottom of it. So there's not much left.
With little information on the cause of the fire and no suspects, Plum says the investigation is at a standstill, but he will continue to work with the Chelan County Sheriff's Office. Well, the ground has been shaking around Mount St. Helens over the last couple of days. A rash of small earthquakes have been recorded, with the largest trembler registered at 3.9 on the Richter scale. The Pacific Northwest Seismic Network reports it struck around 12:30 a.m. A magnitude 2.7 quake was recorded just minutes later. Minor shaking was reported in the hours after that. The latest was a magnitude 1.1 quake that occurred just before 4 a.m. People as far away away as Mount Lake Terrace reported feeling the magnitude 3.9 earthquake. That according to the USGS response page. Only 2 people in Morton, about 22 miles from the activity, reported feeling the shaking. Well, there's a large crack in a hillside above Interstate 82 south of Yakima near Union Gap, and officials there are concerned. Eric Granstrom has the story.
The fissure along Rattlesnake Ridge near Union Gap and possible landslide caused officials to urge 50 nearby residents to evacuate last week. According to reports, the crack appeared along the ridge line in October, stretching north from an active rock quarry at the base of the ridge. Yakima County emergency management officials said Tuesday they can't definitively predict the scope of an expected landslide and that, quote, the geologic experts that have been monitoring the slide believe that since the slide is slow moving and on a gentle slope, the landslide event will be small in nature and hopefully stabilize itself, unquote. This drone footage was taken by Stephen Mack. According to an article in the Yakima Herald, Columbia Asphalt and Gravel, whose quarry is at one end of the crack, plans to offer remaining residents hotel rooms if they want to evacuate. Officials say the hillside above the quarry is moving an average of 1.4 feet per week. Rattlesnake Ridge forms the eastern side of a gap in ridges that separate the upper and lower Yakima valleys. Lying in that gap, Thorpe Road, Highway 97, a Burlington Northern rail line, I-82, and the Yakima River. With NCW Life Channel News, I'm Eric Granstrom.
Time now for your weather forecast for north central Washington, and let's get right to the details. A weak upper level weather disturbance will produce a bit of light snow over the Idaho Panhandle late today and into tonight, with mainly dry conditions and sunny skies expected for north central Washington. We are now under a dome of high pressure. Dry and cold conditions are expected tonight with a chance of freezing fog overnight, so be careful of that as you make tomorrow morning's commute. Look for increasing clouds on Thursday as an area of low pressure moves up the California coastline and into Washington, bringing us a 20% chance of mainly rain. By Friday and Friday night, our chance of precip goes up to 40% with the potential for rain and more light wintry precipitation. On Saturday, we will see mostly cloudy skies with highs in the mid-30s. And by the end of the weekend on Sunday and Sunday night, our chance for precipitation goes up to 60% with a good chance for a rain-snow mix and maybe even all rain at times this weekend. The chance of precipitation remains on Monday and into early next week with high temperatures in the mid-30s and lows in the upper 20s. Here's a look at that forecast. Tonight we'll drop down to a low of 26 degrees and then it gets a little wet on us. 32 your high temperature for Thursday. Good chance for some showers Thursday night and 29. Friday we'll see a good chance for showers throughout the day in 36. That will linger into Friday night as well. Saturday mainly rain mixed with snow during the day, a little quieter Saturday night, and then by Sunday, as I mentioned, that 60% chance for a wintry mix with highs in the mid-30s, and we'll stay in the mid-30s with the chance of precip Monday and Tuesday, highs in the mid-30s, lows right around 30 degrees. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around north central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you do see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. Also, make sure you tune into the NCW Life channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with your host Dan Kuntz and all the day's news with Steve Hare. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
This has been NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. For more news, log on to ncwlife.com, like us on Facebook, and follow NCW Life channel on Twitter.
Hi, I'm Blair from Works, your workout prescription. Have you ever started an exercise program and struggled to keep it going? So what if I told you that with this MyZone device, I could increase your chances of self-motivated exercise adherence by over 200%. Combine that with an exercise prescription specifically for your level of readiness, we'll increase it even more. And that's our new member success system. It's $99. It's exclusively at Works. It includes your MyZone belt. Works. YourWorkoutRx.com.
offers on approved credit. It's time for a sale so big, Leonard Evans only has it once a year. Some call it the Red Hot Clear the Lot sale. At Leonard Evans, we just call it huge. Come pick out any car, truck, or SUV from our inventory with over 150 super clean pre-owned vehicles. Who else makes offers this good? Nobody. That's who. Leonard Evans Used Cars Superstore. Corner of Maple Street at North Wenatchee Avenue in Wenatchee, and always at LeonardEvansCars.com. Leonard Evans, where the name means a great deal.
I'm Mark Miller, and you're watching the NCW Life Channel.